Ladies and gentlemen, here's the motherfucking tea.
Hey everybody, how are you doing today? It's another remote stream, and our first remote stream for My Hero Academia, because, well, turns out that there's a fucking pandemic going on. It's fun.
There's an event happening around the world, and we've all agreed that we're going to stay inside while the government changes all the birds' batteries, because we all know those things aren't real. That's the rumor I heard today, and I really like that one.
I like that. I like that too. So, yeah, we're gonna be doing this. It's just gonna be me, and, Grant, and me today. Stefan has been working tirelessly, and currently is just gonna take the day off. Well, okay, he's gonna take the stream off. He's actually got more work tonight. He's also going...
we gave him the stream so he could stay up late and work.
Yeah, exactly. The funny thing is, he's actually going to go into the office tonight. He's actually been going into the office because he's been the only one there, so it's like, well, I guess that's fine. That's social distancing right there. Yeah. But after tonight, none of us will be allowed to.
It's an official ordinance by the city of Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas County's like, hey, motherfuckers, guess what? You're not going into the studio. You're not going into work unless you are essential. And unfortunately, turns out that TFS Entertainment, we're not essential. I'm sorry, you guys.
It seemed pretty essential to me, but I'm probably biased.
You know, I knew it. I knew it. I kept saying it, and no one believed me. So, yeah, today we're going to be talking about an episode that we missed last week, episode 22, School Festival Start, School Festival Start, and episode 23, Let It Flow, School Festival. And I cannot help but wonder if Let It Flow is, like, I'm pretty sure it doesn't say that in Japanese, but with all the fucking references in that episode.
Yeah, that it is. There are a lot of references in that episode for sure.
And I love them. By the way, I hope everybody is enjoying the visualization that we've got for this episode. I didn't want to just have a camera on focused on me. I felt like that would be rather boring. I guess we could have tried two cameras. I don't even know if we could. Oh gosh.
There's definitely a way to do that. I have never tested it, so I have no idea how you would.
Yeah,
that is a thing that can be done.
Well, we didn't try that today. Maybe in the far-flung future of 2021. Who knows?
I'd take a couple days or weeks of testing before I'd feel good doing it on a stream.
Oh wait, hold on. Okay, so apparently music is still too loud. I have left the music on purpose as something to play underneath us. I have turned it down. Pardon me. Wow.
Oh man. Quarantined for a week and you've lost how to interact with humans without just bodily functions kicking in.
No, that is my everyday.
No, you're right.
So
nothing's changed.
But yeah, today we're going to be talking about episodes 22 and 23. Episode 22 marks the second half of the battle between Izuku Midoriya and Gentle and La Brava.
Yeah, and this is after Deku and Gentle have kind of fought through the town, and now Gentle's like making his just beeline straight for UA, leaving Deku with the girder in hand.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we're picking up where we left off there.
Deku, being a total badass, goes after Mr. Gentle Criminal, tackles him down, and that's when Gentle and La Brava realize that the only way they're going to be able to handle this feisty teenage hero is by using La Brava's quirk. I'd like to point out that the technique that Deku uses to force them into that corner is so cool.
It was awesome. Like one of my favorite maneuvers of this whole fight for sure, where he's like, okay, he pieces together the knowledge that Gentle can't turn off his quirk, and that's very important, that he does not willfully make things unbouncy. And so he's still got time when he sees him use bouncy stuff for him to also use those bounces to his advantage. And uses that to outmaneuver him, and it's awesome.
And he cannot see the air that's been bouncified.
Yeah, he has to keep track.
Yeah, he has to follow Gentle's movements and then use the bouncy air that he made to ricochet his bullet and hit Gentle. It's so good.
And it's great because like he kind of zooms in at this one angle, forcing Gentle to put up like a wall to bounce, but he's like, nah, motherfucker, that's exactly what I wanted you to do. And then like shoots over top of him to hit a bouncy wall of air to send the air bullet down into him. It's this crazy Rube Goldberg, I used your machines against you move, and it's so cool.
Yep. But after they're forced into a corner, La Brava confesses her love. And as it turns out, by doing so, activates her quirk. Which, depending on how much love she has for whoever she activates the quirk on, or, well, actually, it seems whoever she has love for is affected by her quirk and becomes super strong.
And Gentle is like from what we can tell with her backstory, like the only person she loves anymore. So he is the target of it entirely.
Yeah. Which is strong enough to just go toe-to-toe with Deku at least 8%. Which, you know, part of me then has to wonder, so it's a pretty decent power-up. He's become pretty strong. Strong as we saw Deku, holding up a steel girder. So he's pretty mighty at this point, but he's not like Superman strength here.
Yeah, he is not a like crazy supervillain power yet. He's very, very strong, and thinks he knocks Deku out with one well-placed chop, but Deku kind of like gets back up and he's like, nah, I've fought worse. We're not done here. This isn't over.
So it's very interesting. Gentle Criminal has fought many a hero before. In fact, we find out now why he kept turning off the camera. It wasn't to not make himself look gentlemanly necessarily. Rather, it was to hide the nature of how his ability, like how he was able to defeat these heroes. Also, and this is a really good point, to help La Brava.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think a big part of it was also definitely hiding La Brava's identity so that she could remain innocent through all this.
You did watch after the ending credits for the...
Yes.
Yes, good, okay. I was actually going to ask you that before we started the stream, but I had to get everything ready, so I didn't have the time. I'm really glad you did, because it's got a very important scene.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, as we find out, the power of love has given Gentle the power to go toe-to-toe with Deku, and it's a good fight. It is a great fight, actually. Them going head to head with each other. Honestly, I had kind of forgotten this part in the manga. But yeah, this is actually an incredibly exciting fight, just because, and especially, oh my god, the more you learn, the fact that we get to learn about Gentle's past in this, tops off why he's a phenomenal character.
Yeah, they definitely, like, they kind of weave in and out of character backstories while the fight's going on. We learn a little bit more about La Brava and how she had confessed her love for a fellow middle schooler and heard him making fun of the love note and being like, man, she's such a stalker, I've never even talked to her. And clearly from the note she has been following me for a while. What is with this crazy girl? And, like, kind of throws her into the pits of despair, realizing her love will not be reciprocated. And,
which, is a... not a mentally stable thing to do. You can tell that the girl's got some problems, whether it's physiologically or just purely psychologically. She's got a bit of an imbalance, and the response is definitely out of line. And she takes this unhealthy behavior and almost ends her own life. There's a throwaway line about maybe I'll just die.
She is very clearly just kind of pits of despair, not in a good place, and it's seeing a video from Gentle that kind of pulls her out of her funk and drives her and gives her like a new purpose.
Yeah, it turns out parasocial relationship with this YouTube star is what she needed.
Wild.
But hey, she decides that she's going to take one last chance. I can only imagine if this had gone the other way, though. If Gentle was like, yeah, absolutely not. Sorry, bye.
Get out of here. You're just a liability. You're a little kid.
Yeah. I can't imagine how that would have gone.
Yeah, that probably would have turned things turned things out a little differently.
Yeah. Also, I believe she's 18, right, in this?
I don't know if we ever really get an exact age for her.
Yeah, I know she was talking about like a middle school crush sent her down a pretty dark path. Oh gosh, 21 in her first appearance.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, she's a full-grown adult, which is important if I'm being honest.
Yes, yeah. Something definitely to note.
Even though she's a short stack, tiny little thing. But again, I love her character design. Oh my god, Gentle's younger than me. I feel really uncomfortable with that.
Yeah, I wanted to point that out when we see like young Gentle in high school and he still has his silver hair and stuff. Like, I guess, yeah, people can have hair colors at any ages and stuff, but I definitely had the impression that he was older than he was.
Yeah,
based on his design.
It's sort of interesting because the show isn't one exactly that gives unnatural hair color to characters without either hair like actually
without it being a thing. I was getting ready to go Kirishima, but I was like, oh wait, no, it's a point that he dyed his hair that red.
Kirishima dyed his hair. And some other characters have abilities that change their skin color, so when they have different color hair, that's not crazy. He's 32, by the way, for the people who's asking how old is Gentle Criminal. 32 years old. I'm a year older than him. Anyway, so Gentle Criminal has this white hair, and you get to see it on him as a kid. When I read the manga, originally thought he had yellow hair. I was expecting a blonde boy.
Okay.
Which I personally would have preferred it.
Yeah, I can see that.
Apparently, a lot of people aren't aware that we're streaming right now. So I'm just gonna send out a quick tweet telling everybody because we're not too far in. And I'd
Throw
like
that little tweet out there.
Yeah. I want everyone to come in and join the fun with us.
But yeah, his white hair definitely made me assume that he was advanced in his age. And
yeah, I mean, he definitely
personality
looks...
and style stuff aside, like definitely made me feel like, okay, so we've got like an older guy and his little kid sidekick, and then it's like, well, turns out she's in her 20s and he's in his 30s.
Yeah, it is a 11-year age difference. A little weird. But yeah, so anyway, her backstory is sad but interesting. And you get to see the relationship that starts between the two of them, which, again, as Dizzy Dreamer Z says, weird but not illegal.
Yep. Perfectly okay in the eyes of the law.
Yeah, and we also get to see how Gentle became who he is, which I found fascinating, honestly. The idea of somebody who wanted to become a hero and then failed after a miserable,
attempted rescue.
Yeah. Oh, that hurts. Like, oh man, watching that scene where he tries to save that guy. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it's a rough one. I thought the dude was dead. They do later come back and say it's gonna take him 6 months to heal from the injuries he sustained in that incident. So it's like, okay, he didn't kill a man on accident with his power. But it definitely kind of throws him completely off track. He flunks out of school. He leaves home. We catch up with him a few years later, drunk clearly in the middle of the day, and just kind of lazing about. I think it has him listed as part-timer for his occupation. And when he sees one of his old high school colleagues decked out in a hero uniform with their own agency, he's like, wow, it's so cool, I'm so amazed.
By the way, I really want to see what Bamboo Dude does.
Oh yeah, I'm curious what his powers are. He shoots up your fingernails and gets you to confess to any crime.
Oh god.
But his bamboo friend from high school doesn't recognize him at all, and is just like, I don't know who you are. Who are you again?
Yeah.
And that like gives him kind of a wake up call. He's like, is this all I'm gonna ever be? Is this guy who's just gonna get older and poorer and more pathetic?
And as it turns out, no. He decides that he's gonna become, if he won't be famous, he'll be infamous.
For some reason, he has a book, just the history of supervillainy among his things. I'm guessing that was probably like a course-required book, but now he's reading it for different intentions.
You know, that is sort of interesting to me. He's like, well, I've got this, so inform me, history.
Tell me what I should do.
Yeah. So it's a pretty dire moment for him, and so he decides he's gonna become the anti-villain. He's gonna be the kind of a Robin Hood-esque character.
Sorta, yeah.
Because he breaks the law very much intentionally to he's kind of Mr. Eat the Rich, actually. He's like, you people abuse the your rights as a company, and you misinformed the people. Now I'm going to punish you for it. And it's like, it's just hilarious. And he's hilarious, but he's also incredibly interesting and relatable. His story is fascinating. His character is charming. He's one of my favorite characters in the show, and this episode just kind of seals it. It's just a fantastic moment, a fantastic story, and yeah, I'm really happy with this episode, because you want him to do well, you want him to be happy, but you also know in this case, of all cases, he's doing the wrong thing, and so here you want him to fail, but you don't want him to be a failure.
Yeah. And just like kind of throughout the fight, Deku is just screaming about how like you're being so selfish. You are taking away the work that so many others have done to have a good day, to bring a smile to a girl who has forgotten or never known how to smile. And how could you do this? And he's just very much like, because man, this is my dream, and I got to do whatever it takes. It's like a real clash of souls here.
Mm-hmm. It's great. It's peak Deku with the perfect foil for him. Like, I love it. And again, the fight is terrific. It's just a phenomenally well done fight, and in the end, so in the end, La Brava decides that she's going to carry out on the mission. She's like, all right, fine, I've got to go hack into UA's system. And so she starts to run off, but who shows up but Hound Dog with a bunch of, I forget what the other dude is.
Ectoplasm or whatever,
Yeah.
something.
Ecto. And she's like, oh shit, runs back to Gentle. Gentle's beaten.
Yeah, Gentle's final move is the Gentle Sandwich, wherein he lets you know that, hey, everyone knows that it's the thinner a sandwich, the more elegant it's viewed. But in order to defeat you, I'm gonna have to make this a really thick sandwich just to try and stop you. And puts like layer after layer of his rubbery wind on top of Deku, but it's not quite enough to stop him. And that's kind of like the last of his energy, and we see the pink love aura seep out of him as he's knocked down one last time.
Yeah,
and that's when La Brava comes in.
And that's when the narrator also says, it only lasts for a short time and can only be used once a day.
Don't need money, don't need fame, don't need no credit card to ride this train. Power of love.
Nice. But yeah, so at the end of the day, Gentle's beaten, and poor La Brava runs over to Deku, just hitting him over and over, and it does nothing. She can't, even Deku's like, could you stop, maybe?
Hey, come on. And I think that's when kind of Gentle knows the jig is up, because he bounces Deku away at like the last second, right? To be like, just like, all right, I need this to look like no one else was here. I'm going to be the only one responsible for this. I'm going to basically say, I brought La Brava and brainwashed her. Don't blame her for anything. I acted alone.
Yeah, and he does his best to throw Deku away, to kind of like, oh god, if it showed that I had a damn near life and death battle with a UA student,
there's no way this is gonna look good.
No. Throws him away, which might have been good for Deku in the school too, because that could have done it. That could have been the thing that shut the entire school down.
A student was injured by a villain. We're canceling this festival. It does not seem out of the realm.
Yeah. So after getting thrown away and, Hound Dog showing up to apprehend the criminal, he tells them, look, this wasn't her fault. This was all on me. And Deku sees this and he's like, we had a disagreement. It's like,
yeah, I knew he was gonna prank you away, and I didn't want him to.
He says he was gonna prank you away.
Yeah.
Which is like, play it down as much as possible.
Yeah,
Don't
this isn't a
necessarily
crime.
lie. But
he was just sneaking in, wanted to make an appearance and leave. He wasn't gonna hurt anybody.
Yeah, just really play it down, because man, imagine Deku in that moment of like, oh my god, if this doesn't after this huge fight, I swear to God. And luckily, that doesn't get the whole festival shut the fuck down. Which, whoo, man.
Yeah, Hound Dog just kind of screams into the phone when, like, Sniper or someone calls him asking for info. He's like, there's an influencer here who just wanted to make a name. It seems real annoying, but I think everything's fine.
Yeah.
And everyone's just confused. He's like, I don't know, it just doesn't seem like an emergency, so shut up. We're taking him in.
Yeah, which, man. So they take Gentle and Labrava, but we'll return back to them later because now it's time for the main event of the actual school festival and the concert. Deku makes his way back, and I love fucking Aoyama being like, "Where are you, lazy boy?"
Yeah, come on. Where have you been? And just kind of like runs in there with Ecto Ghoul Man, whatever. And as he's getting ready to go in, he's like, "You look like a mess, man. You don't want to go on stage looking like that. I know we're tight on time, but you can get yourself healed up and fix this." But it is also important to note that right before they run back, Deku does say he really needs to grab the stuff he bought. He can't leave that behind.
Yeah, he does have to go. They have to go back and grab that shit. Which, yeah, good point.
yeah, which is very important.
And also, I love that it's Ecto who's like saying like, hey, if you look like that, people are gonna worry. And that's sort of interesting to me because it's very much a, as a longtime hero, he's probably thinking to himself, hey, looking good is actually part of the whole fucking deal, dude.
Yeah, like
so
you're trying to instill some layer of confidence in people. You can't be looking like this.
Yeah, this pro-time hero isn't just concerned with saving people. He's also concerned with the image and how to project confidence, strength. I just found it really interesting.
There's a presentation to it, Deku.
Yeah. So, the live notification just went out. Damn it, Twitch. Damn you. So, unfortunately, a lot of people probably missed the earlier part of this. So, we just finished talking about episode 22, but to give a little bit of a recap, episode 22 is the battle between Gentle Criminal and Labrava and Izuku Midoriya. The fight was phenomenal, just incredibly well done. We got to see a lot of Gentle's backstory along with Labrava's. Gentle's backstory is criminally sad.
Something I want to bring up about Gentle and Labrava's backstory that I forgot that I thought was really touching is that Labrava has these really thick lines around her eyes from just crying and being up all night and like being sad.
Oh yeah.
And after she came to Gentle's side, like, and asks to work with him, Gentle the next day has lines around his eyes that he has drawn in with marker, and gives her a nickname, and like it's like this real like you're in kid moment.
Yeah.
And I really thought it was sweet.
Yeah, no, that's man, sorry, I love that whole, like, I love the fact that he tries his best to make her feel included and part of it because he really does care about her. And intentionally or plays back into her quirk. The more she feels about him, the stronger he gets in battle.
Yeah, it's a good way to make these characters like kind of reflect on each other and improve each other.
He also gives her the name La Brava. Now, very interestingly, he holds up like the name La Brava, and it's in katakana. And as we mentioned before, La Brava is the good in Italian. La Brava, the good. Brava, brava, bravo. But La Brava, when read in Japanese, Raburaba, love lover. So it also plays into her quirk.
She is a lover of love, and it is what gives her power. So the more loving she is, the more powerful they are. That's the love lover.
Which, funny enough, back in the old days of bad scanlations, we used to call her love lover. I now read it through Shonen Jump. Like they come out with it the week of, and I swear to God, I'm being irresponsible manga lover. So don't worry.
Not to shill for something that doesn't at all do anything for us, but they got a decent app as far as like the amount of manga they have on there.
Oh yeah, no, I'm a huge fan. I mean, fact of the matter is, I like Shonen Jump. I like their app. I like reading the manga on there. I do. Gentle's backstory is phenomenal. I love it. I love a failed student who becomes a villain, but not a bad person. Like, he's not a bad person, and that's the interesting thing about it. And he's barely even a villain, to be completely honest. He's pretty terrible at it. The fact
about most of the people he does crimes to are people who are bad in their own way usually.
Yeah. Also, Frostbitten Warlock, thank you for the 500 bits. Yeah, no, it was a great backstory for both him, La Brava. The battle is phenomenal. His parents were kind of, damn. Like, it's hard to blame them. Like, unfortunately, after Gentle completely botches saving that guy.
After a horrendous accident, his family is, like, accosted by pranks and vandalism on their house because of it.
And I think they're sued or something. Like, damn. Their whole family goes through a lot of shit because of this high school dropout who fucks up.
Who tried to do something good and made things worse. It's a really relatable plight to have of being like, he had no ill intentions, he didn't do anything wrong, and it's not even that he was like lazy or particularly stupid, he was just not good at it.
Yeah.
And it didn't work.
And it also reflects upon why there are those rules in place. Why they have those rules. Do not do not try and be a hero unless you're licensed.
You are actually making things more dangerous acting unlicensed in most cases is basically what this show is like really hammering in.
Yeah. And also some people saying that Gentle's parents were awful. Yeah, I mean they obviously went in the wrong direction of how to handle it. They decide to basically abandon their son. Which that's awful and is really unfortunate.
Since we're still talking about Gentle, I can't remember if this is the first of the two episodes we're talking about or if it happens in the second one. But like Deku kind of mentions, he's like, I get why I respect Gentle. He's someone I could have turned out to be. Like he gets him and gets where he's coming from, and it's like this really real moment of like, oh man, like his heart was in the right place. It's just things did not work out, and they've been working out for me, and they've given me so many advancements because of it, and I could have ended up just like this.
Yeah, it's why Gentle was a great villain for Deku, especially in this moment. The way all of this builds up and pays off is phenomenal to me. There are people who do not like this saga, and I don't understand. Okay, I understand why. They wanted something more serious with bigger stakes. And I'm like, no, but this is so good.
Nah, yeah, there's definitely something to be said about smaller stories that are more personal, and I tend to favor those. Don't get me wrong, I love bombast and big over-the-top stuff, but I think it's one of those things where those get diminishing returns if that's all you do.
Yeah, that's basically how I feel, and that's why man, I love this arc. I love the characters. I love Gentle and the stories and the fights and oh man. But yeah, so now that we've gone back over episode 22 for all you guys who weren't here, and even covered some stuff we didn't cover the first time through. Moving on to episode 23, yeah, Deku. Oh shoot, that shouldn't be on. Why is that on?
Uh-oh.
Sorry, we got one of my, oh, that's because I have this open. Sorry about that. I just have something open at the moment and it's making some noises. But, where was I? Yes, Deku makes his way back to the
yeah.
Deku makes his way back to the school, and ends up, you know, everyone's giving him a bit of a hard time. Everyone's like, "Hey, you got to make sure to get yourself cleaned up before you get on stage. What took you so long? You're just down to the wire." And it is just down to the wire. He barely gets out there in time for the curtain call, and it's, oh man, I wasn't sure what to expect from the actual concert, but it's great.
It's presented amazingly. I really liked everything about it.
Yeah. Up until now, we've had these moments with Eri, where she's getting to know all of these new things. She's getting to see this festival, these people, this school, these things that she's never been, she's never had the chance to actually interact with or witness or understand. And throughout all of this, she's obviously been happier and she's excited. You can tell she's excited, but she still hasn't smiled. Smiling is just not in her repertoire yet. And that is when, this whole concert starts and everyone's up there dancing. Oh shoot, I forgot her name.
But there's also there's the big guy with the pompadour and his like schoolgirl classmate. They're either seniors or like later year students, and they're just here to watch the show to criticize it.
Oh yeah.
Is to hate on 1A, and Bakugo overhears them, and like that kind of like puts him on edge for the concert. Like he's ready to impress.
Oh yeah, no, he's ready to kill them all with their music.
Yes, he wants to kill them all with their sound, and seeing their reactions throughout the thing, like let alone all the wholesome stuff we'll get to later, was a real joy for me.
Yeah, honestly, like them getting owned is a great part of this whole thing. They were the other villains to be defeated.
Yeah.
But yeah, the concert starts and Jiro fucking Yoroshiku, and I'm like, oh my god, girl, get it, destroy them all, and she does. She just goes hard into it, and they went out of their way to make the vocals a little less pronounced for the actual concert itself, to let the kind of music, choreography, and characters play out.
They were in English though.
It's the same singer for the last time she sang. And she's having a lot of fun with it. So the song itself is actually available online. So if you ever wanted to just listen to it,
is it?
Yeah, they released it almost immediately after the episode came out. Actually,
that's good. That's a smart move.
Yeah. So if you want to just like listen to the song, you can. Which that's fantastic. Thank you so much. So many companies don't want to do that, and I'm really glad that Studio Bones was like, no, get the song out there, let everybody listen to it and enjoy it.
It's usually when I'm most hype about a song in an anime.
Yep. And so this whole song goes down. Everyone's doing their choreography. Ida's robot dance.
Robot dance is amazing. I saw a GIF of that before the episode, and that's what made me go, "Oh shit, there's my hero this week."
Yeah,
and got me real excited.
One of my favorite parts about it is just it gets like it's the focus of that shot, just him doing the movement, and I'm like, that's good. That's real good. And yeah, everything's big and crazy, and I got fucking like worked up a bit. I was like, oh man,
dude. For me, it was when, like, and I'm sure this is kind of when it really hit for everybody, is when Eri does finally smile, and you see the shadow of Overhaul kind of vanish off of her, which I was confused about at first. At first, I thought it was Tokuyami doing like a cool special effect thing. And I was like, that's weird. But then, like, in retrospect, realizing that's supposed to be the overhaul influence being erased once and for all. But seeing Mirio see her smile and start crying and being like, "Do you see this, Deku? Do you see this, sir? Like, we did it." Like, was a real touching moment for me.
Yeah, no, that fucked me up, man. I was like, oh, like, and
it might have been just rolling off of the emotions from that, but the cutbacks and like the audio from Jiro's backstory also like really got me. Like the concert starting with just like, I have no context going in. I don't know what like baggage she's bringing, but just like hearing what is clearly an adult figure in her life just going like, Jiro, you can do what you want, is like such a nice thing and set the tone really well.
So that was really interesting because when she was young, she, or at least, well, a little bit younger than she is now, she told her parents, like, I don't know if I want to be a hero. Or, I'm sorry, I don't know if I want to be a musician. I want to be a hero. Mm-hmm. And, they're like, do what you love. And then she goes out there and she's like, hey, I found a way to do both.
Yeah, I love saving people and I love music too. And they're kind of like, well, you can, in that way, being a hero is kind of like being a musician. You're rescuing people. Sometimes people need to be rescued with a song, and sometimes they need to be rescued, from a collapsing building or something. I don't know, but you can do both.
It's when it comes down to it, there are a lot of different ways to reach out and touch people, and it's really easy for me as an entertainer to be like, oh yes, we provide a service to people, we make them happy and smile and stuff, but there is a certain amount of truth to that, like, and I don't want to take that away from a lot of artists out there who have actually helped people through great periods of strife and depression. By the way, Frankenstein's Gate, thanks for the 500 bits. I'll read your comment in just a second. But yeah, it's a really tough thing to, provide that kind of relief and connection to people. And that's why music and art and, that's one of the reasons art is so important. Like, yeah, a lot of people talk about like, oh, the importance of art in terms of improving the quality and what it means to history. But I think art truly exists as a unifier and to inspire.
And like just like a means to communicate.
Yes.
In general.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Frankenstein's Gate saying 500 bits. I've watched the music video for the song like 2 dozen times at this point, and I've cried every single time it gets to Harry's smile. I mean, yeah. Actually, we'll get back to the actual like plotline here in a moment, but I gotta mention. So Eri smiling the first time, that hits hard. Mm-hmm. But the moment after, where Deku comes back up to Mirio and Eri.
Yeah.
And she just starts gushing about everything, and then he just
gone,
starts...
And then you were back, and there were lasers, and she said, wow, and I said, wow. And it's like, it's so cute and very kid-describing thing that blew their mind.
And the look on Midoriya's face, and that he just starts to cry, and I'm like, oh my god, I know, man, I know, it's something you wanted so bad. All you wanted to do was make her feel okay again, to really save her, and you did it, and you earned it, you got it, you earned it, you precious little green cinnamon roll, I love you. And it's just that
one happy family, Eri and her two dads.
Eri and her two dads. Oh man. Oh my god, I bet that's a ship. Oh my god, I bet Mirio and Deku are such a ship. Oh my god. I can't believe this is the first time I've thought about that. But yeah, no, that moment, I just, all of my strings on my heart just yanked as hard as possible. And, you would think during the concert, it would have been, that would have been the big moment. But actually, it was Midoriya's response after that.
Seeing Midoriya get to, like, revel in his victory, basically, was really nice.
Yeah, he deserved it. He really needed that. He needed that so bad. The boy needed a fucking W. So yeah, so the concert goes incredibly well. It's gorgeous. It's like fantastically animated.
If you're someone who doesn't watch the anime for some reason but listens to this, I would definitely encourage you to seek out this episode and watch at least the concert section of it. It's really well done.
Oh yeah, it's gorgeous. And I said this before, and this is the absolute, like, I told you so moment, even though nobody necessarily didn't believe me. I said before that they were going to put a lot of their time and energy into this batch, like these episodes. One, because they had finished the movie, but two, they were like, okay, like these scenes are going to be really big. If we don't sell them 100%, they're going to live and die on their animation. And yeah, no, it was phenomenal, just phenomenal. Oh yeah, and Mineta did get his harem scene. That look on his stupid fucking face,
which was creepy and weird, but whatever. I guess everybody gets that one. The best look for I always forget his name. The multi-arm guy who can move his face parts. Classmate, him in the dance lineup looks so weird.
Yeah, okay, I did notice that too. Yeah, actually.
Shoji, yes, thank you, chat. His moves in the dance line are so good.
Yeah.
Just because he's got those weird wing arms.
Yeah. Actually, I do like that a lot of the characters, they do their best to move and sync and look unified, but this is a school of heroes and or freaks. And so you're gonna get a lot of people who are gonna be like, okay, yeah, no, we don't look like normal people, but we're up here, we're gonna dance, and we're gonna knock your socks off.
Dance.
Yeah. And yeah, dude with those big fucking wings, it's gonna look weird, but it's great. I loved it. I love that whole sequence. And then afterward,
oh, good.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Chaco making the audience float.
Oh yeah, okay.
Like,
so part of me was
so
like,
much cool shit in this concert, and I was like, if superpowers were a real thing, I'd go to so many concerts.
Well, so during that scene, there's a part of me that's sitting back like, hey, so did they clear that with the school? Like, is it okay if I make people float? How does your power wear off? Well, they'll slowly come back to the end of the ground. Okay, fine. I just like the idea of her quirk turns off.
Just everyone just drops.
Yeah, but yeah, that whole sequence is amazing. And then afterward, they end up, talking to each, like, Midoriya has his moment with Mirio and Eri, but then, like, the other classes come up, and you're like, yeah, that was pretty. Oh wait, hold on, sorry, we're skipping one part.
No, we're skipping some important parts.
We can't skip Class B's play.
No, yeah, Class B's play. Was it Prisoner of Azkaban, Return to Gondor, or something?
Yeah. Oh man.
Gandalf told you about your father, but he didn't tell you one thing. It's like this combination Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Star Wars
Romeo
nonsense.
Romeo and Juliet,
yeah.
Oh, apparently the dub kept the original title. That makes me happy.
Good. Thank God. I was actually really curious if that would get cleared.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a lot of the joke.
Yeah, and luckily it's done. It's one of those moments where it's a reference, but it's obviously a reference. So you can't get away with that. People do that all the time. As long as you, like, make it obvious that, oh, they're obviously referencing this thing as a thing that they're copying. It's how you get away with, otherwise Big Bang Theory wouldn't have jokes.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It was like, I don't know if you can just name drop characters like this, but then again, there are so many shows and things that do. So I feel like it has to be okay to some degree.
Yeah. So that whole sequence is phenomenal, and also just further plays up Horikoshi's massive lightsaber-sized boner for Star Wars. And yeah, so it's a great sequence. It's hilarious. Afterwards, everyone comes out. They're like, "Oh my god, they packed in way too much shit."
But like, there's like a lot of backhanded compliments of like there was just so much I couldn't help but laugh. Like it was like I had a good time. I can't deny I was entertained.
Hey man, I've had that experience plenty of times.
Yeah.
So.
And do we go straight into the beauty pageant after that? Or
Oh
is
right,
there,
yeah.
is
No,
that-
wait,
is there
no.
other stuff that
Beauty
happens?
pageant is after the moment where the classmates apologize.
Okay.
Yeah,
we get the apologizing classmates.
Yeah, those guys who kept giving class 1A shit end up coming over and it's like, hey, that was actually pretty good. We're sorry, we thought it was gonna be terrible. We came to mock you, but it was actually great.
Yeah.
And fucking Kirishima's like, hey, look, we really did it, huh? And fucking Bakugo's like, victory.
Won. We win.
Yep. That look, that delivery, perfect. I like it because it's not Bakugo when he's out for the kill is overstated. But when he wins, he doesn't yell, he doesn't scream it. He's like, that's fucking right.
He's like, and then someone brings up like we did a good job, but obviously there will be some people who weren't able to see it, so we've got to keep this energy going. And Bakugo's like, no, if someone didn't see this, you drag their asses over here, and we're gonna show it to them. Like, it's just like, no, we can't do that.
And Tailboy's like, dude, calm the fuck down, bro, come on.
But okay, I remember how we transitioned from this moment to the next. During all of this, the squad is cleaning up chunks of ice left over from Todoroki's special effects.
Mineta is
Mineta-
like, could you hurry the fuck up?
Yeah, Mineta seems very invested in getting this cleaned up as quick as possible, which is revealed that it's because they aren't able to go anywhere until this is clean. And what's up next?
The beauty pageant. Yeah, so it turns out there's the beauty pageant, which was alluded to before. So, we had a scene and a half dedicated to it. It's okay. Like, I honestly, it was, so I like Hands Girl, she's cool, but man, Nejire came out like, I'm winning this. Like, all of you just stand back and fucking deal. Like, Kendo, cool, I like her. Her dress, fantastic. Her ability, neat. But man, Nejire was like, here's a rose made out of my energy as I fly around like a fucking fairy. And I'm like, well, shit, girl, okay. And then that the third year was, I don't know what her whole deal was actually. Everyone.
Yeah, it's I'm sure there was a joke there that might have played better culturally if I understood more. Because it definitely seems like she is a classic style of beauty from what I can get. But she comes in super flashy with a big robot of her face, I think.
Yeah, she's one of the support course students. So.
Yeah, and which is pretty funny because that just cuts to Eri and Mirio watching from the audience, being like, "This is fun, but what's even happening?" He's like, "Yeah, with this entry, it kind of got confusing.
Yeah,
like we don't really know what this competition's about anymore. Clearly."
Yeah, she's the classic Japanese type, and it's fun, but it's not modern enough, and she loses to Nejire, which girl earned it. Like, she did. Again, I like Kendo, but Nejire earned that one.
Yeah.
And then it's just a bunch of moments throughout the rest of the festival. We get to see, oh my god, I won't lie, Ida and, was it Ida and, who was the other person in the, put your face, was it?
Oh.
It's Todoroki. Todoroki and Ida. They put their heads through the fucking, like, little take your picture here thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved that.
Looked like something.
Yeah.
And it looked like, was it like the one teacher they have, Cementos, was it like a Cementos juice box or something? That I feel like there was one like a...
Oh my god, I hope there was. That would have been great.
I think Yaoyorozo was drinking one or something in a shot, and it looked really funny.
Also, the fucking, Ninja Warrior course.
Yeah, the obstacle course that Bakugo and Kirishima are going against each other.
Hell yeah. Yeah, Momo had a Cementos juice box. That's really great. I love it.
Yeah, because I saw that, I'm like, that's a goofy thing and something I hope somewhere in Japan physically exists so that I might buy one day.
But yeah, so everybody has some fun throughout the festival, and at the very end, it's time for Eri to leave. But Deku comes in with one last surprise. And I don't know why, but Deku's like delivery of surprise, I was like, oh, you fucking little. Hands her a candied apple, and I don't know why. It's Aries' response is this episode is just full of so many cute, wonderful moments. But yeah, she eats it and she loves it, and of course she does. And sorry, gotta mention Shinzo in the haunted house. Perfect character for that.
Yeah,
perfect.
After the beauty pageant, someone offhandedly mentions, "There's a haunted house. We should go check it out." And like one of the scenes is Shinzo, clearly bloodied in makeup, looking like a corpse hanging. It's just like obviously the scary house, and awesome.
Yeah, but yeah, also, like, what was I gonna say? Yeah. So when he gives her the candied apple. The little bite. I don't know why. I just love the little.
Yeah, the little chip.
Yeah.
It's revealed though that Deku's real reason for leaving to go to the store that morning
was to pick up the stuff to make it.
Yeah, was to get stuff to make the candy apple. Like the rope was the excuse he gave the class, but what he really needed was a bunch of stuff to make this candied apple. And the only thing that he couldn't find at the store he went to was some food coloring, so he got that from Sato.
Which fantastic setup. I love that. It's such a small thing. Horikoshi didn't need to write that in, but the fact that he was like, yeah, I asked Sato, like, thank you for somehow working in another character into this just to give it a little bit more depth. It's such a small thing, but that's an example of good writing that kind of goes underthought.
Yeah, there's stuff like that I really appreciate, because it just makes these characters feel like they actually exist. Because when there's a situation where like I need to make this sugary sweet treat for somebody, but oh man, I don't have all the stuff. Too bad we don't have a classmate whose whole power revolves around sweets.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But yeah, so made it just for her, because apparently there just weren't any candied apple stalls this year, and I love that. It's just oh, and apparently Deku had an All Might apron. Oh man, I
didn't see that. Yeah,
I gotta go back and see that. That's so many things, so many small things. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and All Might scolds Deku for not picking up his phone. Yeah,
that's right. I did forget about that. Yes,
it's like you are going to freak out when you see your voicemails.
All Might and Hound Dog both kind of have a sit down with him, and then once Deku leaves, Hound Dog like contains himself and is able to speak while talking to Deku, just being very like, hey, what you did was wrong. It's not okay. Everything worked out all right, but that doesn't mean what you did was okay. You can't do this. That's not right. Like, very bad. And then like All Might kind of comes in and like lets him know, like, we were worried about you. Look at your phone next time. Come on. And then like Deku walks away, and All Might like says something to Hound Dog, and he just flips his shit and starts barking. It's so good.
Which, yeah, no, that's great. Like, him freaking out over one of the kids almost getting hurt just really helps give you the idea of Hound Dog as a character. Like, it's interesting because he's one of these characters that kind of looks like a villain, right?
Yeah, and he seems like this like character who like, and obviously like he's a bit of a joke character because his bit is that he's a dog man and he's the guidance counselor or something. So like someone who should be probably well spoken is this animal person, but they give him depth in a bit in this, in just showing that like he really cares about these students, and like that's why he's so passionate and freaks out.
And he even goes out of his way to say, come on, you want to go, like, it's still going on. You should go have fun. You did everything for this. Leave!
Yeah, no, go!
Yeah, it's great. I love it. And yeah, so... but yeah, Hound Dog's great. This is just a couple of really phenomenal episodes, and I'm so happy that they really did them justice. And as I've said before, I was also very happy for you to like get to. I was waiting for you to be able to watch these. This is one of my favorite arcs, and I'm glad they did them well.
It is real nice, and it was done very well. I would say this is definitely a high point for the season.
Now, after the credits, though, we get a very important scene, which is kind of the epilogue to Gentle's arc. And yeah, he ends up getting told by the police, like, hey, so like, we don't believe you that you pushed this girl into this.
It's pretty easy to test for brainwashing, and that is not what you did.
Yeah.
That's basically what they say.
And it's obvious that she loves you. But he's also like, but it's obvious you love her too. Like, you're not using this girl. And that's important. Like, it's important not only that is what the case is, but also that the police recognize it. The police are like, no, we can see that you care about her. You tried to save her. And I really liked that.
Yeah.
And so, actually, I'm kind of curious. Are we? Hey, chat. Do we have 25 or 26 episodes this season? Because I just realized we might. If we only have 25 episodes this season, I think we only have 2 episodes left. And the next, Oh man, we only have
Chat's
2 episodes.
Pretty agreed on 25.
Shoot, yeah, we only have 2 episodes after this. Yeah, next 2 episodes are actually kind of a big thing. So. Actually, I didn't watch the next episode preview, so I don't even know what was shown in that. Oh wait, no, I did. Hawks is there.
Yeah. The first time we see Hawks, if you didn't watch that movie that came out.
Oh yeah.
Also, Origami Chimp. I also like that it seems like most of the cops are animal people. Like, he's getting interrogated by a gorilla man.
Yeah, that was really interesting. I was expecting it to be the dog dude, but no, it's this gorilla guy. But yeah, so, yeah, as it seems, they recognize that Gentle's not a bad guy. He's just done bad things, and inconvenienced people, and they're like, hey, it's good that you understand that it's not over, because that means that you know that you can have a second chance. And it's a great scene, and he's like, you want some tea? And he's like, yes, black tea, please. We only got the cheap stuff. So yeah, oh man, I love these episodes. I cannot tell you just how much I absolutely loved them. I'm very happy with the second half of the season. A little bit more than I was with the first half, but we've gone over that. And yeah, so sorry, got a stretch. Been sitting here for like an hour. But yeah, so I think that's mostly it. We've gone here for an hour, so I unlike where we usually take like 20 minutes to talk about random stuff, we should probably wrap it up so we're not going to spend too much more time. Did you have any closing thoughts? Anything else you wanted to share before we go?
I'm excited about the next episode. I did watch the preview for the next one, and it does seem to be about like, hey, top 10 rankings have been in flux since All Might left the picture. So we're going to be talking about that kind of stuff, and how is the pro world dealing with this stuff? And I'm really excited to see what that's going to be all about. Yeah,
the pro world's not something we get to see a whole ton of, because it's My Hero Academia, not My Hero Professional Career.
Which I think is really good. Like, the more I think about, and I think a lot of anime and manga do this, but, you know, it's kind of like how Naruto starts with the kid ninjas, and we know that there's this god-tier ninja stuff happening in the peripheries or outside of what we're seeing. But, you know, it's never taking up too much of the screen time until our characters start filling those shoes.
Yeah.
So I like that. I like that setup and things.
It definitely helps you connect with a lot of these characters, a lot of the kids, and sorry. there's a reason that it's done so well with kids in Japan.
Yeah.
It really is just kind of like here's the life of somebody growing up in this school and becoming a hero. I mean, that's so exciting. It's not just a matter of, oh, here's somebody who's already gone through it all. No, this is the steps you have to take and the struggle you have to go through. Which, again, that's kind of why a lot of anime are about high school students. No, nobody wants to watch college or post-college Japanese people 90% of the time because they realize that after you get out of college, it's all over.
It's just work.
That's also why whenever it is focused on adults, most of the time it's on like fantasy stuff. Is House with the 500 bits saying next episode, thirsty weeaboo do not dream. Thirsty weeaboo does not dream of bunny girl senpai. Oh yeah, fucking Mirko's in the next episode. You've seen her in the ending. Now you're about to see her actually on screen. The thirst is real, and it's in the shape of a bunny.
All right, exciting note to leave on.
So everybody, thank you so much for joining us for this episode of My Hero Academia Reviews. Again, we have so much fun with the show, and we have so much fun talking about it with you guys. We'll definitely be returning again next Monday. Same setup, same time. As we said before, Dallas County has an ordinance in place. We literally can't go to work, so we're going to have to do it from here. Not that we would want... Huh?
Doing it this way.
Yeah, not that we would necessarily want to, because we're trying to be responsible, safe boys and girls. Because, there's a fucking plague outside. Thank you all, and yeah. See you around. See you next Monday.
Goodbye.